Good evening, viewers. My name is Very Reverend Father Simeon Okezonwobi, Claretian Missionary. I am the Provincial of Claretian Missionaries of East Nigeria. And presently, I am the President of Major Superiors of Nigeria, MED. I want to discuss on the topic, Consecrated Life in Nigeria and the Call to Wake Up the World. When the Union of Major Superiors of Men gathered in Rome for the 82nd General Assembly, little did they know that an informal meeting with Pope Francis would spark off a clarion call that will reverberate throughout the world. The informal meeting and wide-ranging conversation that ensued between the Major Superiors and the Pope, though devoid of the trappings of papal audience, had the impetus of the Great Commission. Wake up the world, Pope Francis said. Be witnesses of a different way of doing things, of acting, of living. It is possible to live differently in the world. The invitation, albeit an invitation to everyone, has a particular reference to a consecrated person. It calls to mind the identity of the consecrated person. It is a call to re-examine the world around us, discern the designs and signs of the times, reflect on the gifts and charisms, vocation of which each has received, and consider how to live in the present times and embrace the future with hope. In other words, this invitation suggests a fresh approach to the mission, the consecrated person, not only in today's world, but also in the present context of Nigeria reality. The Nigerian society is beleaguered by the challenges of secularism, nepotism, and ethnic violence, rising unemployment, terrorism, hedonism, and the likes. Is in great need of being woken up. Like the scene in the Acts of the Apostle Paul and Silas were accused to have turned the world upside down. Today, the consecrated life in Nigeria is challenged to turn the world upside down with a new mind and a new mindset. They can wake up the world by their joyful witness to the sign of the risen Lord. I want to talk about consecrated life and the question of identity. The challenge to wake up the world evokes the question of identity. Consecrated life in recent times suffers the crisis of identity. On the one hand, due to the widespread ignorance of the identity and place of the consecrated person in the church and in the society at large. On the other hand, because of the all-pervasive and aggressive secularization of the world. And it is sad to note that many Catholics have little knowledge about religious life. In the seminary curriculum, for instance, there is no formal education on religious life. A very minimal attention is given to this. Only a section of the canon law that concerns religious life is taught. Consequently, many young priests know very little about the religious life. Secularization itself, though not totally negative, I would say, has become what Pope Paul II terms selective blindness towards the supernatural, and men have lost sight of the footsteps of God. Rooted in the atheistic and skeptical and individualistic philosophy of the 20th century, secularization gave rise to a movement towards autonomy, to the rejection of the church and his claim to the authority to interpret correctly ethical behavior and to a highly intensified demand of freedom. The end result of secularization then is that human beings no longer give God the power to determine the meaning or trend of history, but the human being has arrogated the power to himself. It then implies that secularization is a big threat to human history and to the practice of faith. Within this context, the consecrated life is challenged to give a response to wake up the world. In order to give this response, there is required an inward assessment of what the consecrated life is all about.